Well, hey, everybody. Crack is whack and we're under attack. Listen up. I've been trying to tell you guys about this for a while, but maybe you've heard Tucker say now that, well, who would want to be under Sharia law? Who wants to live in a place where the rape and murder level are zero and you can leave your keys in your Lamborghini without worry for it getting stolen? Okay, that sounds cool and everything, but let's analyze just a bit before we move forward. For one, the poor people who don't own a Lamborghini are probably still getting raped and murdered. It's just not being reported. Now, here's the trick. It's great deception. Okay, I need you to understand that the Bible's very clear that this is what's going to happen. Everybody's going to take the mark of the beast because of the great deception. Everyone is going to be tricked into becoming Muslim. You are falling for the smear campaign, and you are going to choose the lesser of two evils. Okay, which is if once you're stuck with choosing between the synagogue of Satan and Islam, you're going to think that Islam is the truth, like it has been the truth all along, right? Think about it. Think about Nazi sympathizers. They're like, maybe Hitler was a hero. Do you actually think that Kanye West is right? Okay, right. You're just as dumb as him. Do you understand? And the only thing that's going to fix that is this guy. Because make no mistake about it, I used to be a hardcore neo-Nazi, okay? I'm not anymore. So I kind of do know what I'm talking about, just a tiny bit at least. Now, let me calm down and try and be less arrogant, because I really do have a message to share with you here, okay? I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I do recognize that that's what's happening. Please forgive me. I'm sharing this message out of love for you and your children, period. See, I watched a video last night of a German woman being harassed by a German-speaking Muslim immigrant. And he's like, hey, trying to take her. You know, you got to understand, if you are in public without your man, that means you are available for the taking. I argue that's evil. Now, this is where the great deception falls in. I'm sure that Tucker would agree with me that that's evil, but that's the beauty of Sharia law in Islam. If Sharia law is followed, then no woman would be walking around in public without a man in hijab, which would make it to where no one is capable of getting raped. So Sharia law is beautiful as long as everybody follows it. Look, this is a great deception because the Bible tells us that in the end, people will call good evil and evil good. Okay, and I understand that 99 out of 100 people that come across this video are going to view me as someone who's brainwashed and following evil. Didn't you just hear me say that I used to be a neo-Nazi that wanted to exterminate entire races because they were tricky? I literally used to believe that all Jews were the Zog. The Zionist occupational government meant Jews. Now I know that's not true because I've read the Bible, and the Bible actually predicted the Zog. The Bible predicted your predicament as well, and the Bible gives you the recourse to get back to the actual truth, okay? So I'll leave you here with this. The problem that you are facing is personal development, okay? I keep having this idea pop up in my head, and I'll share it with you. Drewski and his little pageant for tryouts for his rap label. There's this guy named Dudat. And Drewski's like, Dudat? Why do you call yourself Dudat? And he's like, because I really do that to Anilla. And Drewski's like, I believe you. Now let's back up. This guy's like a skinny... I don't know if you've spent any time in juvie or jail or had to deal with the legal system and the other people that are stuck under it, but I have. And there is something to be, and I lived in Houston ghetto, hardcore ghetto, like Smiley High School. Okay. I went to Shadydale Elementary and Cahey Intermediate in 4th and 5th grade. I've seen some of the different aspects of life up close. Okay. And the truth is that, look, I'm from a really affluent white town in Texas called Kingwood, but I lived in the ghetto for a couple of years. And then I returned back to Kingwood in 7th grade. There were these two twins named Josh and Jacob that I used to play Nintendo 64 with when I was a little kid, 3rd grade. And upon moving back in seventh grade, these guys were bigger than me now because they were a year older. They were much bigger. They were always kind of thick. And so these guys were like, 200 pounds. And I was like 110 at the time. And I was walking somewhere and they started like talking crap and mocking me. The truth is they weren't, they were just like, hey, what's up, buddy? Like, I literally, if I remember correctly, I was walking to go ride my skateboard somewhere and they said, where are you walking to the doctor? What they didn't know is there was this hidden skateboarding spot that I was going to skateboard at. The paved bayous we have all over here in Texas. And they said, oh, are you walking to the doctor? I thought they were mocking me. And so I was like, what'd you say? And this dude walks up to me and I punch him in his face. And, not half an hour later, his mom's banging on my door talking about how she called the cops because I assaulted her son. And my dad's like, listen, you need to understand, my son doesn't have a mother. He's lived in some hard situations. He thought that your sons were going to attack him and he was just trying to defend himself. And it is what it is. Sorry, Josh, Jacob, whichever one of you it was that I hit. I am still very remorseful about it, but I learned something oh so valuable from that situation. And it is that my lack of personal development and the jadedness that I had taken upon myself because of these different situations led me to do things that were evil, thinking that I was protecting myself. That is the same mechanism by which you are going to be tricked into taking the mark of the beast. Jesus Christ will make you invulnerable. Period. Think about Daniel going into the freaking furnace. What you might not understand about Daniel is that he was a eunuch. He was a servant, but an angel comes to Daniel and tells him that God and heaven are super pleased with him. And he's like, what? Me? Really? So, cheers, guys. What you see as arrogance is actually humility. And that is the power of the mustard seed. So please, today, go look in the mirror, ask him to show you the truth, and stop thinking that you're going to save anyone from anything. Glory to the King. Don't fall for the tricks.